Here's a wild stat for you. If you get just 1% better every single day for a year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Not 365% better, 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. And it's exactly what James Clear breaks down in one of the most game-changing books on habits ever written. Welcome back to the channel, where we take the best books out there and break them down into the insights you can actually use. No fluff, just the good stuff. Today, we're diving into Atomic Habits by James Clear. And trust me, this one's going to change how you think about pretty much everything you do every day. Let's get into it. So why are we talking about this book? Simple. Most of us have goals. Lose weight, build a business, learn a new skill, wake up earlier. But we struggle to actually make it happen. We start strong in January, and by February, we're back to our old ways. Atomic Habits isn't just another self-help book telling you to just do it. It's a practical, science-backed system for building good habits and breaking bad ones. James Clear shows you that massive success doesn't come from massive action. It comes from small changes that compound over time. This book hit the New York Times bestseller list and stayed there because it actually works. Whether you want to get healthier, be more productive, or just stop scrolling through social media at midnight, this book gives you the blueprint. And the best part? The strategies are so simple that you can start using them today. Idea number 1. Forget goals, focus on systems. Here's the first big insight that completely flips conventional wisdom. Goals are overrated. Yeah, I said it. Think about it. Every Olympian wants to win the gold medal. Every entrepreneur wants to build $1 million business. Everyone has the same goal, so why do only some people make it? Clear argues that winners and losers have the same goals. The difference is in their systems, the daily habits and processes that move them forward. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. Here's the thing. When you focus only on goals, you're constantly in a state of either failure or delayed happiness. You're only successful the moment you hit that goal. And then what? You need a new goal. But when you fall in love with the process, with the system, you win every single day. Real-world example. Let's say your goal is to run a marathon. If you only focus on that finish line, training feels like a grind. But if you build a system, I'm the type of person who runs every morning, then every run is a win. You're making progress regardless of whether race day has come yet. Action step. Pick one goal you have right now and ask yourself, what's the system that would make this goal inevitable? Then focus on showing up for that system every day, not on the distant finish line. Idea number 2. Your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. Most people try to change their habits from the outside in. They say, I want to lose 20 pounds, so they force themselves to go to the gym. But Clear introduces a game-changing framework. There are 3 levels of change. First level, outcomes, the results you want. Second level, processes, the habits and systems you follow. Third level, identity, your beliefs about yourself. Here's the breakthrough. Lasting change happens when you start with identity. Instead of saying, I want to run a marathon, you say, I am a runner. Instead of, I want to write a book, you say, I am a writer. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Do the thing once, that's 1 vote. Do it consistently, and you're building undeniable proof of your new identity. Example. James talks about a guy who quit smoking not by willpower alone, but by changing his identity. When offered a cigarette, instead of saying, no thanks, I'm trying to quit, he'd say, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. That subtle shift made all the difference. Action step. Think about the habit you want to build. Now ask, what type of person would do this habit naturally? A healthy person, a disciplined person, a creative person. Then start acting like that person, even in small ways. Each rep reinforces the identity. Idea number 3, the 4 laws of behavior change. Clear gives us a simple but powerful framework for building good habits. He calls it the 4 laws of behavior change, and it's basically a cheat code for rewiring your brain. Law 1. Make it obvious. Your brain is constantly scanning the environment for cues. If you want to build a habit, make the cue impossible to miss. Want to drink more water? Put a full water bottle on your desk every morning. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow. Law 2. Make it attractive. We're more likely to do things that appeal to us. Clear talks about temptation bundling, pairing something you need to do with something you love to do. Only watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the treadmill. Only listen to your favorite podcast while you're doing chores. Law 3. Make it easy. Reduce the friction. The easier a habit is, the more likely you'll do it. Want to work out in the morning? Sleep in your gym clothes. Want to eat healthier? Prep your meals on Sunday. Clear calls this the 2-minute rule. When you start a habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Not run a 5K, but put on my running shoes. Law 4. Make it satisfying. We repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. The problem is, many good habits have delayed rewards. You won't see abs after one workout, so you need to create immediate satisfaction. Track your habits on a calendar and put an X every day you complete them. That visual progress is surprisingly motivating. Action step. Pick one habit you want to build. Run it through all 4 laws. How can you make it more obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying? Then watch how much easier it becomes. Idea number 4. The plateau of latent potential. Here's why most people quit before they see results. There's a valley of disappointment. Imagine this. You're working hard, putting in the reps, but you're not seeing any progress. You feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill and getting nowhere. So, you quit. But here's what's really happening. Clear explains that habits often don't seem to make a difference until you cross a critical threshold. It's like ice melting. You can heat ice from 25 degrees to 31 degrees and see no change. But the moment you hit 32 degrees, boom, phase shift. The ice melts. Your habits work the same way. You might not see results for weeks or months, but the work isn't wasted. It's accumulating. You're building what Clear calls the plateau of latent potential. All that effort is storing up, and when you finally break through, the results come fast. Example. Think about a bamboo tree. You plant it, water it, care for it, and for 5 years, you see almost nothing. But in year 6, it shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. All that time, it was building a root system underground. Action step. If you're working on something and not seeing results yet, don't quit. Trust the process. Keep showing up. You're closer to the breakthrough than you think. Idea number 5. Environment is the invisible hand. You probably think you're in control of your habits, but Clear drops a truth bomb. Environment matters way more than motivation. Your habits are shaped by the spaces you live in. If there are cookies on the counter, you'll eat cookies. If your phone is on your nightstand, you'll scroll before bed. We like to think we have infinite willpower, but really we're products of our environment. The good news? You can design your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Clear talks about choice architecture, structuring your space so that the default option is the healthy one. Want to watch less TV? Unplug it after each use and put the remote in a drawer. Want to practice guitar more? Leave the guitar on a stand in your living room, not in a case in the closet.
One study showed that soldiers who used heroin in Vietnam had a 90% recovery rate when they returned home, way higher than typical addiction recovery. Why? Because they left the environment. The cues that triggered their habit were gone. Action step. Look around your space right now. What cues are triggering bad habits? Remove them. What cues could trigger good habits? Add them. Set up your environment so that doing the right thing is the path of least resistance. Idea number 6, the Goldilocks rule. Here's a secret about motivation. We're most motivated when we're working on tasks that are right on the edge of our current abilities. Not too easy, not too hard, just right. Clear calls this the Goldilocks rule. If something's too easy, we get bored. If it's too hard, we get frustrated. But when it's in that sweet spot, about 4% beyond your current ability, you enter flow state. You're challenged, but it's manageable. This is why video games are so addictive. They're masters of the Goldilocks rule. Each level is slightly harder than the last, keeping you engaged without overwhelming you. The key to maintaining habits long-term is to keep them in this zone. As you get better, you need to increase the challenge slightly. You need to level up. For example, if you're learning a language, don't just keep reviewing the same basic phrases forever. That gets boring. But don't jump straight into reading Dostoevsky in Russian either. Find material that's just a bit harder than your current level. Action step. Take a habit you're building and ask yourself, is this too easy or too hard right now? If you're bored, increase the difficulty. If you're frustrated, scale it back. Find your Goldilocks zone. Idea number 7. Never miss twice. Here's maybe the most practical rule in the entire book. Never miss twice. Life happens. You're going to miss a workout. You're going to skip your meditation. You're going to eat fast food instead of the healthy meal you planned. That's fine. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Clear emphasizes that successful people aren't perfect. They're just good at getting back on track quickly. They don't let one bad day turn into a bad week, which turns into a bad month. This is huge for maintaining momentum. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be resilient. Let's say you're building a habit of writing every day. You have a crazy day and don't write. No problem. But the next day, no matter what, you sit down and write, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You protect the habit. You keep the streak alive in spirit. Action step. When you slip up on a habit, don't beat yourself up. Just commit to getting back on track immediately. Show up the next day, even if it's a scaled-down version. The habit stays alive.
Idea number 8. The downside of good habits. Here's something most self-help books won't tell you. Habits are powerful, but they can also make you complacent. When something becomes automatic, you stop paying attention. You go on autopilot. And while autopilot is great for saving mental energy, it can also prevent you from improving. Clear talks about how top performers in any field, athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, combine habits with deliberate practice. They have routines, yes, but they also constantly review and refine their performance. He introduces the concept of reflection and review. Once a year, once a quarter, or even once a month, you should step back and assess. Are my habits still serving me? Am I still improving or just going through the motions? Example, a professional basketball player might have the habit of practicing free throws every day. But if they just shoot without paying attention to their form, they'll plateau. They need to review footage, get coaching, adjust their technique. Habits plus reflection equals mastery. Action step. Schedule a monthly or quarterly habit review. Look at your routines and ask, what's working? What's not? Where have I plateaued? What needs to change? Keep evolving. All right, let's wrap up the big lessons from Atomic Habits. Systems over goals. Fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. Identity-based habits. Change who you believe you are and your habits will follow. The 4 laws. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. The plateau of latent potential. Results take time, but they compound. Trust the process. Design your environment. Make the right thing the easy thing. Find your Goldilocks zone. Keep habits challenging enough to stay engaged. Never miss twice. Slip-ups happen. Just get back on track immediately. And combine habits with reflection. Autopilot is good, but keep evolving. Look, at the end of the day, you don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to get 1% better today. That's it. One small habit, One small change, one small vote for the person you want to become. If you found this helpful, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss our next breakdown. Drop a comment and let me know, what's one habit you're going to start building today? And if there's a book you want us to cover next, let us know. We're reading the best so you don't have to read them all. And if you loved Atomic Habits, check out The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg next. It's a perfect companion to dive even deeper into how habits shape our lives. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and remember, small changes, big results. See you in the next one.